Hi, welcome back to my Chanel. Welcome to my channel. Hello, in case you're new, in case you don't know, my name is Jordaline. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. How are you? How's it going? How's your life? Today we're going to be talking about me. Duh. And also what I read in October. Quite a few books, so let's get started, okay? First things first, I'm the realist. Second things first, I read about 9 books. And honestly, that's probably like the most amount of books I read in the month of October in a few years. Usually, Octobers don't go well for me. I think it's because I have so much hype for them that they just end up sort of, you know, like shitting the bed. So this month, we had like a pretty good reading month. I think most of it's because most of these books are in reading vlogs, and so I had to read them for content. Because most of these books are from reading vlogs, and because most of them I talk about quite at length in those reading vlogs, I will not be spending that much time on each of these books. If you want to see more, watch those reading vlogs. They'll give you more information. Here, I'm just basically like wrapping up the month. This is basically where we just put the little bow on the little gift and we leave it. Let's get started. Okay, if you're new to my wrap-ups, how it generally works is we talk about the books from my least favorite to my most favorite. Are you ready? Okay, let's start talking about books. First of all, I figured that we should discuss The Vessel by Adam Neville because I never ended up finishing it. Basically, after the 4th day of that reading vlog / like readathon, I was like, ugh. And since then I've kind of been like in like a little teeny tiny little slump. I never finished The Vessel, but I do really like it and I want to finish it. I have like 70 pages left. Like I need to finish it. I want to finish it. I will finish it tonight or continue reading it in another vlog that I'm starting tomorrow. Anyway, just thought you should know. Okay, based on what I read, the first like 100-ish pages, I really liked it and I would recommend you pick it up. In last place for this month, we have Womb by Duncan Ralston. This is about this guy. He's like in a motel room, right? And he's just like hanging out. He seems kind of like sad, but like whatever. And then he like gets on like his little fucking phone and he's like, hey, can you send me like a sex worker, please? And they're like, okay, sure. Like what? And he's like, yeah, send me a fucking sex worker and also make sure that she's fat. The last time I went through you guys didn't send me a fat girl. And like, I was like really upset about that. So like, could you please just do that? Thanks so much. So then a little knock on the door and he opens it and it's like a sex worker and she's fat. So he's like, yay, cool. She's like, hey, let's have sex or whatever. And he's like, no. Not yet. I just want to like ask you questions. And she's like, that's suspicious, but like, okay, whatever. Just asking her all these questions. She gets like weirded out. She's like, I think I'm gonna leave. And then he convinces her not to. And then he starts telling her like a story about things that have happened in this room. I don't know exactly the point of this novel because I did DNF it. And I don't know what happens at the end because I did DNF it. I don't know if I really care. The book is not very long at all. I think it's like a 3-hour audiobook or something. It's not long. I felt like the more I read it, the more I was just draining myself. You know what I mean? Like I just like didn't care like at all about the characters, about what happened to them, about how it ended. Not only that, but like I really felt like he was gonna kill the fat girl and I like could not deal with it. I was like, I'm not doing it. I don't wanna see or read you killing fat people. Like that's not my thing. It's like, no thank you, no thank you. I'm just not into it. No thank you. From what I read in the comments, the book is apparently like really fucking wild and crazy at the end. So that's the last place. DNF, whatever. And then I have this book. I really struggled between this book and the book after it because I was like, technically I liked this book more than the other book I'm going to talk about. This is so confusing. I'm going with Spine Shivers, A Grin in the Dark. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, my friend. I liked this book a lot. Like, I liked it a lot. And let me tell you something else about this little fucking wrap up. Most of these books, 4 stars. ranking them was so difficult because I loved all of them except for Womb. It was really, really creepy. It had some very pretty and yet terrifying art in it as well. This is about this kid named Hamid. He's going to his aunt's house, right? And his aunt is like, hey, like babysit our children. And he's like, cool. His aunt has this obsession and love for clowns and clown collectibles. Her children started having nightmares about clowns. And so she was like, you know what? Let me be a good mom. Let me put these fucking clown things away so my kids don't get scared of them. Hamid goes over. There's no clowns. None. Nowhere. They leave. And Hamid is left with these children, these like twins. They're like, hey Hamid, like it's so nice to see you, blah, 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 blah. Also, like the clown that comes and visits us every night, that's like a dream. It's like not real. It's just a dream. And he's like, okay, cool, like whatever. And then Hamid goes into his aunt's bedroom. And he's like, I really shouldn't, but like, let me do it because I'm like kind of a snoop. So he goes in, and in this rocking chair, he sees a fucking clown. Like a big fake clown. And it's like in the rocking chair. And he looks at it and he's like, that's fucking creepy. Fuck that. So he leaves. There's a chance that clown is not a fake clown. This book is like a little middle grade horror novel. It's so fun. It was surprisingly dark. Halfway through the book, I was like, okay, I know where this is going. No, I didn't. I didn't know where it was going. It was so much fun. It was so cute. It was genuinely creepy. Like I literally at one point got shivers. By the way, I will link the reading vlogs for all of these things down below in case you want to watch any of them. It was a lot of fun reading this, and it only took me like 45 minutes. Like it took no time at all. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But the other book that I almost put in front of that one is Drawing Blood by Poppy Z. Bright. So Drawing Blood is about this guy named Trevor, right? When Trevor's a child, his father murders his mother and his brother. But his father leaves him, doesn't even touch him at all. Literally, Trevor wakes up the next morning and everyone's fucking dead. His father like left him out of this little suicide fucking murder moment, and Trevor has to live alone, basically. He has nobody, no family. He's like an orphan. And then he meets this guy, and it's like a whole thing. It's like a whole thing. It's about him coming to terms with why his father left him, and coming to terms also with his survivor's guilt. I liked this book. It was fine, but I really didn't like the ending. I didn't like the fact that there were so many like abusive, toxic aspects to the relationships in this book, and they were all kind of just like fucking moved over. But any concern as to like the messaging of like what it means for a person to stay with somebody who is emotionally and physically abusive. I thought also that it was kind of confusing, and I don't know if I understand completely what the actual fuck actually happened. I much prefer their other book, Exquisite Corpse. I think it was better. Also, it wasn't even that horror. Like, where's the horror? The only person who I like absolutely fucking loved was Eddie, and the fact that she didn't get her own book, like literally, it's like literally a crime. Literally a crime. Explain yourself, Bright. Eddie was my favorite. She was the best. Eddie was the best, and the fact that she got done fucking dirty is so annoying, but I digress. Next, let's talk about Still House Lake by Rachel Kane. I did a reading vlog for my Patreon for this book, so if you're interested, I will leave a link down below in case you want to check it out. But this is about Gwen. She's coming home one day. She's driving with her kids, and boom, police everywhere, all over her block. They're everywhere. And so Gwen is like, what the fuck is going on? She gets out of the car, and the police are like, hey, are you Gwen? Or I guess Gina, it was her name. And she's like, yeah. And they're like, wow, okay, so put your hands behind your fucking head, like you're under arrest. And she's like, what the fuck? They're like, you tried to kill a bunch of women with your husband. So Gina's husband was a fucking murderer, was a serial killer, and Gina had no idea. Fast forward, Gina is innocent, proven innocent, and she's on the fucking run with her kids, trying to escape from these like internet trolls, trying to escape from people who think that she actually had something to do with it, and trying to escape from her fucking husband who's in prison. We had the book club discussion today for it, and I realized just how kind of stupid the main character is in this book, but it doesn't even take away from how much I loved it, because the whole book, you're just constantly on your toes. Like, where the fuck is this going? Who do I trust? Who do I suspect? What the fuck is going on? What is happening? Not only that, but like Gina, when she's not being dumb, is like an absolute bad bitch. She knows how to fight. She can use guns. She's constantly like diligent for the most part. Sometimes she's dumb, but like whatever. I really, really loved this. I really, really, really liked it. If you're into sort of fast-paced thrillers with like female characters, check this out. It's so good. After that, let's talk about The House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. This is about this girl whose name is Marion. By the way, I also did a reading vlog for this. It's about this girl named Marion. Marion is poor. She has a shitty fucking job with this shitty woman. And then also she lives with her brother, who's also pretty fucking shitty. He's like super abusive. He's like awful. And so Marion is constantly just like, where the fuck can I get off? Where is my stop? Where am I escaping this? And Marion sees it in this ad looking for a blood maid. So Marion's like, hell yeah. So she applies to be a blood maid, and she meets this guy, and he's like, I'm a blood connoisseur. She gives this guy her blood, and he's like, oh my god, it was the best blood I've ever had, ever. And she's like, oh my god, thank you. And he's like, you're gonna go work for like House of Hunger. And she's like, oh my god, that's such a fancy house. So why am I talking like that? So she goes to the House of Hunger, and she meets this like woman whose name is Lisa Vet. She is like basically the lady of this manor, and she is gonna take Marion's blood and also maybe something else. I don't want to say anything, but oh my fucking god. Listen, again, there's a reading vlog for this, and in the reading vlog I lose my ever loving fucking mind, because at some point in the book I'm like, what the actual flying fuck is going on in this book? Like, what is happening here on this day? I was so confused. Listen, I was suspicious, but I wasn't suspicious of the right things, okay? This is very much giving me like Interview with a Vampire meets like Wuthering Heights type shit. Like, it's it's like gothic. It's beautiful. The main character, Marion, is this bad bitch. She's like super, super stubborn. She like stands up for herself, and she'll ask fucking questions, because that's the thing as well. Marion gets to the House of Hunger, and she sees shit, and she doesn't just like ignore it or be like, it's probably, no, she asks questions. And like, maybe that's kind of dumb, because it's like, then they know that you're suspicious, but like, she is a smart bitch in some ways. Only thing I didn't like about this book was the romance. I was like, do we need this? Is this necessary? Because I wasn't convinced of it. I felt like the character development for the romance wasn't there. But other than that, it's such a fun little like vampire thriller kind of moment. Give this a chance. Give this a shot if you like vampires and if you want to read more vampire-ish stuff. Next, we have The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a Carrie retelling. Oh my fucking god. I really fucking love this. This is about this girl named Maddie. Maddie grows up, like you probably know, as like this little introverted Christian girl. Like, her dad is super, super overprotected. One day, Maddie's at gym, and she notices that it's like starting to rain a little bit, or that it looks like it's gonna rain. And she's like, absolutely not. I checked this shit. It shouldn't rain, but it does rain. Maddie freaks the fuck out. Her straight hair starts to curl rapidly, okay? Like, the humidity gets to her hair. People are then suspicious and start to think that Maddie is actually a black girl, that she's been pretending to be white, and it's this whole fucking crazy thing. This book, first and foremost, is a Carrie retelling, but I think it's also one of the most like aggravating books I've ever read in my entire fucking life. Like, we see from the point of view of several people in this book who have just the most abhorrent views. It made me so fucking mad while I was reading it, because I just wanted to literally just fist fight all of them. Specifically Jules. Jules can meet me in the fucking parking lot. Her whole attitude, the entire fucking book. There is no character development for Jules. Not only that, but her friend Whitney or Winnie or whatever the fuck her name is. I forget. I honestly forget her name. But she is the epitome of like the performative activist, this performative ally, where she doesn't give a flying fuck about the communities that she's affecting. All she cares about is looking like she cares. And that, oh my god, she also just fucking drove me absolutely fucking batshit. Reading it was kind of fun for that. I'm not gonna lie, like it was kind of fun reading this and being like, oh, I hate you so much. Let me continue to revel in my absolute like hatred for you. Then also the book packs so much heart, so much like gravitas in it. Like at some point in the book, I literally cried. It surprised me, bring makeup, and I was like, oh my god, I literally can't afford to cry. But I started crying because the book had like hit me unbeknownst to me. I didn't know, but it did. It was a surprise. Anyway, I really fucking like this. So check this out if you haven't already. Next, let's talk about Old Country by Matt Query and Harrison Query. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I am a broken record. I have a reading vlog for this as well. I will link it. This is about this couple, right? Named Sasha and Harry, or Harold. They move into this like beautiful, like new house. Like they move in and they're like, it's literally perfect. It's so us. It's like in the middle of nowhere. We're so happy. And then their neighbors come over and they're like, by the way, just so you know, there's like a little bit of like a spirit thing that like haunts us and like makes us do these ritual type things. And they're like, excuse me? What the fuck? And so basically, they have moved in to haunted land. They have moved on to haunted land. And there is no escaping this haunted land. This book was so surprisingly scary that like it surprised me. It is so genuinely creepy, but at the same time, you can't help but read it. You can't help but like sit there and just like bask in it because you're like, what else am I gonna do? Like, I have to know what's gonna happen. So you have to sit through all these horrifying moments. The only thing I didn't like about this book was the ending. The ending of the book was so stupid, and I honestly thought that it didn't really match the rest of the novel. Like the rest of the novel was so smooth, and then we got to the ending and it was like this weird thing that just like, what? Okay, cool. Like I really didn't like the ending. And as much as I hated Harry the entire fucking novel, I absolutely loved Sasha. I loved her story. I loved the rest of the characters. And I really loved the plot of the book. I really like this, especially, like I've said before, if you liked Stolen Tongues or if you didn't like Stolen Tongues, you should really give this a shot because it's very similar, but in my opinion, it's done way fucking better, way better. So I have two books left that I'm going to talk about. The second to last book is The Long Shadows of October by Christopher Triana. This was such a fun fucking Halloween book. I absolutely fucking ate this up with a fork and a spoon and a knife. Like, it was so fucking good. This is about these kids, right? These high school students. They get this like really bougie job to watch over this like very nice sort of mansion house thing. And they're like, hell yeah, we're gonna be a house sitters, but we're also gonna like throw a party and everything like that. What they don't know is that inside this house, there is a succubus ghost witch. A succubus ghost witch, and she is going to destroy all of them, or she has plans to. But there's this girl named Kayla, and Kayla figures some shit out. And Kayla's not about to let her fucking friends be like completely destroyed by this witch bitch. Dude, I fucking love this. It was so much fucking fun. The characters, you instantly get on board. Okay, I was instantly like, oh, I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you are. It's such a fun and easy book to read. I loved it. Not only that, but while reading it, I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Like, I wanted to know so badly about like the mysteries of the book. 10 out of 10, would recommend. I did do a reading vlog for this as well. The last book is a book that I don't have a reading vlog for yet. And that is The Shadows of the Gods by John Grin. Listen, I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. Like, you probably know because you've probably seen me gush about John Gwyn, about this book, about these books. Like, I love it. I'm gonna become a fantasy girl. I'm gonna become a girl who like fucking falls for fantasy because I am into this. First of all, I annotated it and it's literally fucking stunning. Tell me it's not. I love everything about this. I love everything about it. Okay. So in this world, we're following 3 characters, and this is kind of like a Viking Norse type of world. And back in the day, there were gods, right? But the gods like basically killed each other. So they're gone. But now all the humans left are like, fuck those fucking gods. They were the fucking worst. We hate them. We're following 3 people. One of them is Orca. She is a mother to a little boy, and she has a husband named Thorkel. And they're basically just like regular people. And then we're also following this guy named Varg, who used to be a slave, and he's now sort of like freed himself, right? And he's out looking for a certain person to perform a certain thing so he can know about a certain other thing. I'm not going to say, no spoilers. And then also we're following this other girl named Elvar, who is a part of this like mercenary group, battle company. She wants more than anything to have battle fame and to be known as like a great warrior. And oh my, dude, this fucking book, oh my God, so many moments in it where I was just shocked. You would never look at this book and think like, yeah, that's got plot twists. It has plot twists. Oh my God. Every corner, at every page, I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking good. Like, the characters leap off the fucking page. You fall in love with them. And not only that, but like you get so invested in their story, every single one of them. And then every time something happens or something is like revealed, it's like this new level of like, oh my God, I didn't know I could love something this much. Like, it's just so good. It's just so fucking good. Please, if you haven't already, check out this fucking book. Please. Because apparently, from what I've heard, the second book is even fucking better than this, which is crazy to me. This cover is just fucking stunning. Like, tell me it's not. Anyway, I loved these. I loved this. I loved it. I'm so excited to read the second book. I'm doing a reading vlog for it right now. Literally, I can't wait to continue on because I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with John Gwyn. John, if you're out there, fucking love you, man. I love it so much. Please check it out. Anywho, my friends, my family, my familia. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you thought of the video, what you thought of these books, if you've read any of them, if you have any opinions. I would love to know. Thank you so much. Don't forget also to hit subscribe because we talk about spooky shit. We talk about creepy shit. We talk about the shadow of the gods and the long shadows of October and shit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!